to you. Happy birthday, dear Logan. Happy birthday to you. Victor Creed has a twisted tradition of gifting Wolverine pain for his birthday. This year was no different, though the stakes were a bit higher. In addition to beating the best there is to a bloody pulp, Sabertooth sought to get revenge on the Quiet Council for imprisoning him in the stasis pit of Krakoa. Sabertooth wouldn't be having all the fun, though, as he leads a pack of 4 alternate versions of himself from different Earths. So, strap yourselves in and prepare to SNIKT like never before as we wind the beginning of the most violent Wolverine story ever told. Our story begins aboard a stolen Orcus station. We see what appears to be Wolverine hanging upside down from a ceiling as he observes Sabertooth feeding below. Wolverine releases his grip from the ceiling and launches himself at Sabertooth with raw, animalistic fury. To his surprise, Sabertooth quickly faces him and catches him by the throat. Shortly after, Wolverine transforms into one of the alternate Sabertooths known as Camo, hence camouflage. Sabertooth praises Camo for his attention to detail in appropriating his longtime rival Wolverine so well, even down to his scent. We see that this was some sort of training exercise, as the Sabertooth Peanut Gallery, consisting of a Captain America version dubbed Cap, the Sentinel of Tyranny, a female Savage Sabertooth, and Pretty Boy, insist that they are bored with training and ready for some real field action. Sabertooth reminds his subjects that he makes the decisions and subsequently decides that it's time to initiate their grand plan. Meanwhile, Black Tom Cassidy is surveying the perimeters of Krakoa and the newly inhabited North Pole X-Force base via Flora. Black Tom is alerted to mutants on the sands of the Stark Sentinel Patrol Krakoa and telepathically gets the attention of none other than Kid Omega. Black Tom tells Kid Omega that he'll notify Wolverine, but Kid Omega insists that he's in the neighborhood and will drop by to investigate. Little did Quentin know that those mutants dancing on the sands were a pack of bloodthirsty Sabertooths. Sabertooth and crew, making their way to Krakoa, discover that the island is apparently void of mutant life but has plenty of sentinel activity. Camo insists that they use cloaking devices. Sabertooth candidly states that he calls the shots and that the group should use cloaking devices once they land. The 5 touch down on the once prosperous mutant paradise to find it barren of life with clues that indicate a mass exodus. It is then that Camo becomes aware of a powerful approaching mutant, being Kid Omega, and notifies the rest of the group. Sabertooth states that if they can't kill all of the mutants, they can at least have this one. In the skies above, Kid Omega telepathically battles his way through a group of Stark Sentinels. He notices what appears to be Wolverine on the shore below, so he gets a closer look with the telepathic magnifying glass. By the time he realizes it's really not Wolverine, he is penetrated through the neck and taken aboard the Orcus Station 5 shuttle, where the 5 Sabertooths brutally feast on his flesh like a pack of lions. Just outside the X-Force North Pole base, it's almost midnight, aka Wolverine's birthday. Wolverine brings some wild game to his son, Fang, formerly known as Daken. The two share some comforting words before Wolverine leaves to make his rounds and instructs his son to skin and butcher the caribou. Wolverine makes his way inside of the base to visit Sage. On his way there, though, he reflects on the significance of Krakoa and what it meant to mutant kind. He contrasts that with the fact that, for once in his long life, he didn't have to contest with his old pal Victor Creed, better known as Sabertooth. This is all a relief given the events that followed the Hellfire Gala, which marked the beginning of the fall of X. The Greenhouse North Pole base is the last home mutant kind has left, and the best there is doing the best he can to protect it. Wolverine enters Sage's workshop, where she and Black Tom survey the perimeter for any new threats or points of interest. The two briefly discuss Kid Omega's whereabouts, his lack of accountability, and the greenhouse perimeter. Sage assures Wolverine that nothing will get to the greenhouse without Black Tom knowing it first. As Wolverine continues to make his rounds, he has more internal dialogue and recollects that Sabertooth has been banished to the pits of Krakoa and is likely still there. Logan adds that even though he didn't encounter Sabertooth when he himself was briefly thrown into the pit, he could sense Sabertooth's presence like it was violently grafted into Krakoa's code. The fact that Sabertooth's whereabouts are unknown are cause for concern because it's moments away from midnight and another birthday for the best there is. Meanwhile, outside of the greenhouse, here we see Sabertooth and his 4 alternate versions have made their way to the edge of Black Tom's flora in the snow. If anyone were to step on the vine, Black Tom would immediately be alerted. Only if they had the head of a powerful dead telepath and a way to send a psionic disrupting beam via his eyes to temporarily disable Black Tom and Sage's surveillance. Oh wait, they do. Wolverine makes it to his next stop, where we see Domino and Laura Kinney, aka Wolverine, discussing strategy. Laura senses Wolverine as he slowly makes his entrance as though he's carrying a heavy heart. And that he is because although his son and Laura know it's his birthday, they don't know of its curse, of its creed. See what I did there? Logan acknowledges Laura's integrity for stepping up in his absence on X-Force. He then states that if something were to happen to him, she would have to be the one to bear the burden of the best there is and be better than he ever was. Laura lightly disregards Logan's ominous tone to retrieve his birthday gift. When she turns around, though, Wolverine's gone. Coming full circle, we return to outside the greenhouse where Fang, Wolverine's son, is having a one-sided conversation with an unknown individual or mutant and finishing up the caribou butchering. Foreshadowing? Fang says to the individual that he and his father have had their ups and downs, and their time together on Krakoa felt like one long forced hug, but now things were different, and that they all needed each other. Fang asks the individual a confirming question. Silence. Fang repeats himself, and this time the individual can't answer because he's trying to keep himself together. Literally. Sabertooth rips this mutant in half right in front of Fang in such a gruesome and violent fashion you could hear Shao Kahn say, "Fatality." The two square off and Sabertooth announces that it's midnight, officially Wolverine's birthday, and he plans to give him a gift he'll never forget. The two combatants charge at one another and exchange slashing bloody blows reminiscent of two wild animals competing for female sexual access. As Wolverine completes his rounds and returns to Fang, there is nothing sexy about what he is about to discover. Wolverine makes his way through the snow, wind, and fog, calling to Fang and asking if he completed the butchering. A question Wolverine regrets asking as he falls to his knees and sees Sabertooth's horrific birthday gift that he'll never forget. Holy shit. Wow. Was that a comic book or a horror movie? What a jaw-dropping part 1 of 10 of the Sabertooth War story arc. I enjoyed this read and appreciate that the rating is mature and there's a parental advisory. This allows the creative team to appropriately express Wolverine and Sabertooth. The story arc has been labeled the most violent Wolverine story ever told. And after what we just witnessed, I can see why. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure to SNIKT that like button and subscribe for more Trademark Comics.